my Julian's gardens. I'm still in my backyard at the moment, and here's the area that I'm going to put my lemon tree, the new lemon trees I bought 2 weeks ago, and I thought I'm gonna plant into the corner here. I'm going to show you in a little bit later. And I got one Maya lemon tree already, and I want to plant another tree. So this tree is grafted with 2 varieties, Ukwa and Lisbon. So both variety in one plant. So that is very cool and quite established already, and I really like it. And here, let me turn the camera while I show you the area. Alright, so here's the spots that I'm thinking to put it in. So remember, if you watch my channel or you follow me and watch a lot of videos, and you can see this spot, I got a fig tree. Now that's fig tree it produce a lot of food, but were stung by the fruit fly and the mouse. They just love eating the figs when they are starting ripening, and even I try to net it because of the fruit fly, but they just chew on the netting and they ate on my figs. I was so disappointed. So that's why I did a lot of fig cutting, and I'm going to grow them in the container so I can move the container in the middle of the yard, and so hopefully the smile will scare go to the middle of the yard and eat my figs. And here is the spot that I'm going to put the lemon tree in, and this corner or this spot a little bit low, very low down to compare to the other side. You can see this is my ruby grapefruits that someone gifted to me, and it's doing very well and produce so many fruit. Look at that. And she helped me to trim it because the tree quite established, 8 years old, and she trimmed it very hard for me to dig it up and move it, and it done so well. Thank you so much again for giving me this beautiful tree. And this area quite low, so I'm going to empty my compost bin. And citrus, in my experience, they love slightly acidic to neutral soil. They don't like alkaline soil and love very good drainage. So here is my raised garden bed. So I won't have to worry about drainage about that at all. So if you plant your lemon tree or citrus or other tree, mostly other fruit tree, they love good drainage. If you plant your examples, the citrus or the lemon, when you plant in your yard, and if you don't have raised garden bed like I have, make sure you just dig into the top soil, the top soil around the house area. But when you hit into the clay soil, don't dig any further, because if you dig any further, the water just stay in there, just like a little pond, and then it can never get away. And that will make your citrus tree very unhappy, or other fruit tree as well. Instead of digging through the clay soil, just building up the soil. Because I got a lot of experience with that before we build the garden bed, raised garden bed like this. So make sure you don't dig into the clay soil, okay? And citrus in my area a little bit tricky. So to grow citrus successfully in our area or our cool temperate climates, I do recommend to protect your citrus tree 3 years at least, when your tree is still very young. Even I got quite a established tree today already, but I'm going still protect it for 2 years at least. And the structures I'm going to build on my helper, my reinforcement going to help me to build it. I will show you maybe in the video later. I mean the next video later, not this video. And I'm going to protect it from the frost for 2 years. But with some of your tree might a little bit smaller, you might want to protect it 3 years. And if you have a north facing wall, it's really good that you can plant your citrus there, because it got heat from the wall. That microwave climates can produce more heat to protect it during the night with the freezing temperature. And if you don't have that north facing wall, you can plant your citrus tree at the corner of the yard that they were protected from the fence. That the fence is really help to reduce the cold temperature from the freezing wind, because the wind is really really stress the trees out. So So if the area that you don't have any fence or any north facing wall, you still can plant your cedar trees in our climate. Just need to protect it. And when you protect your cedar trees, or when you put the cover on top of your cedar tree, make sure the cover not touching to the leaves. We're going to talk about that in maybe the next video later when I do the structure thing. And then citrus, in my experience, they love moist. Even you plant them in the ground, but in the first few years, make sure you water it consistently. Or if you have the drip irrigation and put the timer on, and if the summer like water like twice a week is very good idea. Sometimes three times a week if you have very hot climates or like 38, 39 degrees Celsius, you should water it 3 times a week when you're newly young tree planted. And the tree I'm planting today, and I will water today, and then I water tomorrow, and then I'm gonna skip 2 days, and after that I water again, and the week after that I'm gonna water only twice a week. And when the tree is more established, maybe 5 or 6 months, I can just playing around with the weather. If we got so much rain, and hardly we don't have to water much this year at all. But when the weather hot, I try to make sure to water it twice a week. And other than that, one thing I do think that the citrus trees, they love our homemade compost. And I just some experience, like some tree I put the homemade compost, some tree not, and some tree I use the other compost for my cedar trees. And the one with the homemade compost, they're doing much better, and you don't have to fertilize as often as the other trees. So you know that cedar trees are very hungry, and for them to produce a lot of juicy foods and to keep their leaves very shiny and green with no disease. So we use a lot like osmosis special for cedar trees, but the ones I use like homemade compost, I don't have to feed them much with a lot of slow release fertilizer for cedar trees from osmosis. I use maybe 4 or 5 months, or maybe twice a year from the trees that I fed them with the homemade compost. But the one that I don't use the homemade compost, I can see sometimes the leaves they change the color a little bit, so I know that I have to feed more often. So I just some experience about that. So if you have a homemade compost, you want your cedar tree doing well, save that compost for your cedar trees. And I'm going to empty the compost bin. Oh, by the way, the compost bin I'm going to empty. I will keep mostly the unfinished composted like mulch, because I don't have any mulch at the moment, and I don't use much mulch in my garden. I use a lot of mushroom compost like mulch. But for the cedar trees, I'm going to keep that like unfinished compost to use like the mulch for the lemon tree, and so that I will reduce air, the water evaporate into the air, and they could keep the woods cool, and the hope that cedar tree can be very happy. Let me show you the cedar tree. Here is a task. I got 2 varieties in here, lemon ukra and lemon Lisbon. Here is a tree, by the way, looking very healthy. I think this tree over 1 meter now. It's I think 1.2 meter or 1.3 meter. Very healthy. So when I bought it at the nursery, I bought it 2 weeks ago. And another tip is, when you bought any trees from your local center or even very famous nursery, I do recommend to leave the tree alone there in the part sun area to let it set to acclimate your area or to the climate that you got there. Don't plant it just in the ground, because I did a lot like that, and most of the time the tree just get soaked. Get very stressed. Sometimes I'm very excited to bring the tree out in the garden and plant stress away. That's not a good idea. It's better to let the tree sit in your area. That even the tree, they say that full sun, but don't put it in full sun. Just put in the part sun area and let it to acclimate it. And I just that several times or a lot of time, and most of the tree got very stressed and get sunburned. So make sure don't put your tree straight into the full sun area. Let it acclimatize and you still take care of it, water it well at least 1 or 2 weeks, and then you prepare the area and to plant your trees. So I did manage to kind of empty the compost bin. You can see a lot of unfinished bit there. So I can just leave them like this and to cover the soil to keep the use them like the mulch in this area. And I still have some bit over there, very roughly, so they stay on the top of the compost bin. And I can use that for mulch for the lemon tree as well. And here I kind of like did a little holes like this. So if you plant your lemon tree in the ground, like not in the very scattered bed like I have, you might have to take a little effort to dig on the top soil and make sure don't dig any further into the clay soil, okay? But the very scattered bed, and I just empty the compost bin, and so it's just very easy, just kind of like make the holes for it. And I'm going to use 1 bag of premium potting mix to put over the holes and cover the root bone of the lemon tree as well, because I don't want any more pockets, and because some of the compost, this area of compost that I just empty, still very rough, so sometimes the rough bit like this, they can't quite like hold or contact into the root bone of the plant. So that's good idea to do a bag of the potting mix. So I gonna kind of place the plants in. So make sure you kind of like place a plant into the way that you like. So I think it's quite a good spot there actually. Yes, and this tree gonna go to 4 to 6 meters wide. Of course, I want it to go very big and tall like that. It's reasonable high for me to get the fruit, to pick the fruit, and reasonable width for to compare with the other trees around it as well. So I think this tree I might let it to go to 3 meters wide. That's it, and maybe 3 meters tall as well. And any further than that, I just chop on the top off in the early spring when I prune it when the frost over. One more thing, when you go to buy your lemon tree, so you can see here the task like this. You will see lemon okra and lemon Lisbon double buncher. So I get one side is the okra and the other side is Lisbon. But they should have a mark which side is which side. A little bit like they should do a better job with marking about that. But sometimes when you buy the trees and you maybe lost the task, or maybe sometimes like the people who looking for the tree, they put the task of the tree in the wrong way. So it's better to check with the pots as well. So example like this. So here, don't look at the price, okay? Here I do this here. Perhaps you can see here, but it did say that okra lemon double grafted with Lisbon's lemon as well. So it's good idea to double check with the container that the tree is and with the task as well. But if the task is with something else, I would go into the label of the container. This is the grafted area. So here is the rootstock underneath here, and here the grafted. That one side, one type lemon, and the other type on this side as well, and which I don't know which side is which, but I will make sure that I don't bury the grafted union here, because that will lead into the stem rot, and you don't want that, and your tree might get very sick and it might die. And yeah, this double grafted here, I can try to make sure that the branch is not crossing to each other. I will fairly to keep it kind of very airy like this, and even when in the future when the tree gets big and tall, I can try to keep on top of pruning. And the best time to plant your citrus trees either early spring or early summer. And this summer we got very cool weather, and today what the temperature today? Maybe 29 degrees Celsius. So not too hot at all. So very good time to plant citrus tree. And I'm not recommend you to plant your new citrus tree in autumn, because the tree won't have much time to establish in the area or in your pots or even in in the ground. And best time to plant in early spring or early summer. Okay? And some of you might find quite difficult to get the trees out of container. So with this container, I don't think it got root ball at all. So I just hold the plant like this, and I just tap the container out. So here we go. You see that? That's very easy. But first, I'm gonna put some potting mix around the holes first. So because I got the drip irrigation here with the ring like this from the fig tree, so I'm going to put in the whole first before I put the lemon tree in. So in the future, I don't have to set up more drip irrigation for this tree. Okay, so I kind of like placing the lemon tree into the position that I like. May up a little bit. I think that's looking good, and you can see here's a ring here. But in the future, when the tree more established, I will replace its ring into the bigger ring, so the tree will receive more water, and the drip irrigation they will be expanded over the drip lines of the canopy, so the tree will have more. The tree can reach into the water easily as well. Okay, so I just now just adding more potting mix over the root ball. I got some more in here as well. And because we got very windy winter, in the winter we got a lot of like gusty, and in the summer as well. So I just try to make sure the tree have no air pockets in it, because I don't want the tree fell off or fall over in the storm or in the rainy day. And yes, I just put the compost on the top of the root ball of the lemon as well, lemon tree as well. So keep the root nice and cool and bring a lot of nutrients to the lemon tree. And I won't fertilize this lemon tree at least for another 2 or 3 weeks, because I got a lot of homemade compost there, and I want the tree settling down a little bit before I fertilize them, because sometimes the tree is more, their roots, when we just plant it in, they are more sensitive, so it's not a good idea to fertilize them straight away. It's a good idea to plant the tree and let it to settling down for a few weeks, and then if you can fertilize it in. But as I say, I use a lot of homemade compost, so I won't have to fertilize it too much at all. And I just, whenever I want to fertilize, I just fertilize with the osmosis, specialized for citrus, and a lot of the other trees that I go in the container, I have to fertilize it more often. But I fertilize in the early spring and summer, and then autumn as well. But early autumn. But since at the end of autumn, I'm not going to fertilize anymore, because in the winter we don't want any more new growth. The more new growth we got, the more damage your tree can get from the frost or from the cold weather. So make sure you don't fertilize your citrus tree at the end of the autumn. Okay. So make sure you water very well your fruit tree or whatever the tree you just planted in. So this container is around, or the watering can around 10 liter. It's about 10 liter, and I will use all this water for the lemon tree. As I say earlier, I water it today and repeat tomorrow. And after that, I skip 2 days, and I will water it again. And then next next week I will really to water twice a week. But also it depends in your area. If you got a lot of rain, or tomorrow you got rain, then you don't have to water it at all. And the tree got more benefits in the rain than in the tap water. Like I have here, I don't have water tank anyway. So I think that's it all done. and I think this tree is doing very well, and in the future I hope I can give you an update how this tree doing. And you might notice that I got two little stick holding in two trunk or two sides of the lemon tree here, or two branches here. A little bit hot at the moment, so I'm going to go inside very soon. But let you know that I'm gonna take on this stick off, okay? And the tying plastic thing. Oh, here I did take it out one, and because it doesn't make the tree any happier. I think when the tree a little bit young, and it helps to keep the branches informed into the side that you like. But when the tree kind of established like this already, it already have a very strong holding branches. I don't need a stick anymore, and plus a little plastic or any type of the the tie together, it might damage your tree. Okay, so when you buy the tree, make sure you don't leave any tie like this, or the wire and a lot of the the stick like this as well. Don't leave in, because when it's windy, the tree rocking around, and then the barks of the tree can get damaged, and although damage that in the future it might lead into the tree gets sick or diseases. So if you need to take some stick the tree, make sure you put away from the tree, okay, or from the branches, and then you can use different type of the wire or the tie to tie together. And make sure don't use very rough wire, or just use very soft material to tie together, okay? So that's it for the video today. I might missing something, because I do notice I've been talking in this video very long. And if you have any questions, please write down in the comment below, and watch out for the future video, because I'm going to build, or my father-in-law will help me to build a structure to protect this lemon tree and some other tree as well. And thank you so much for watching, and see you in next video. Bye bye.